show. This is episode 717 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back.
Welcome.
Yeah, baby. How you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing good. I had a giggle fit 5 seconds before we started recording because I am just wired with a lot of coffee. I'm ready to go, boys.
I was wondering what your deal was. You were laughing and giggling and carrying
I
on.
just I started just saying random stuff before I put my headset on to see if I can elicit a reaction out of you, and you just like completely deadpanned it. But I found it funny, and I just started laughing.
That's my everything face. My deadpan is my everything face.
You just deadpanned. I'm giggling on the inside because you're deadpanning, and I'm saying just off the wall nonsense, and I just couldn't stop.
I was really thinking about the guys over the past couple of days on the show, Finch, and of course he's heading out to Las Vegas today.
Yeah,
He's got a little vacation. He's going out and enjoying the Las Vegas life for a couple of days with him and his brother-in-law, apparently.
yeah.
And then I was thinking about Derpy a little bit. Derpy, he again with this Comic Con. Now, apparently, I watched another one of his videos yesterday, and there's
Okay.
another one of these Comic Cons coming, and he was like, I don't know if he was exactly promoting it, but he was talking about it, and then some of the other things. And I thought to myself, that Derpy, he spent $40. He took $80 with him to the Comic Con,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He spent 40 of it on a foam sword. We've already talked about it. This is nothing new.
Yes, there's nothing new, but it's still fascinating for us.
And I think I think I really figured something out here, Mike.
Yeah.
What's up, Corey Beavers? Good morning to you, my friend. He
What up,
says,
Corey?
"What's up, dudes? I hate when I missed a show. Feels like I missed. Oh man, you're good, brother. Nice to see you as always. Always good to see you, Corey. And I was just thinking about Derby, Mike, and I thought about that $40 he spent on a
Yeah,
foam sword. And I the other day, now I don't know if you noticed, Mike. Well, just last week, my black light was out.
yeah.
And I ordered a black light at the beginning of the week, and I got a new one. And my black light came in this foam sleeve. I'm wondering if Derpy would be interested in buying my in my. Look at this. It's just like a sword, Mike, and he could hit.
Yeah.
They could hit each other with it like they do. He could take it to the Comic Con and smack. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They're walking around with foam swords. Why wouldn't Derpy buy this?
Paint it green, put a little handle on there, a little hilt or whatever. I think that's what it's called. Paint it green, and let's go. We're selling that shit for $40.
What a thing, he did. He bought a foam sword. I mean, even if I kind of cut it, maybe if I trim it a little bit and kind of give it a handle down here,
Yeah.
I bet you I could get 40, $50 off of Derpy with, because they
I
got the big
think you
comic
could.
coming up, Mike.
Yeah, I
So,
think you could. I think you got that, bro. That is all you. That's $40 in your pocket, recouping the cost from the
well, I
black
mean,
light.
here's the thing though. It's like, he goes up there and he'll pay $40. What do you do with that? What do you do? That's almost like the wrestling belts. Remember the wrestling belts when we were kids? You get the
Yeah,
kids wrestling belts, and I mean, what are you gonna do with it? But
I
anyway,
don't know.
nonetheless,
I don't know.
I will attempt to sell this to Derpy. Whether he falls for it or not, I don't know. But he fell for it once.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
That's right. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. What a bad day yesterday in sports for Pittsburgh, at least. Uh, Penguins, Pirates, all kind of stuff. We really have a lot of stuff to go over. Corey says in Steeler news, I've seen a lot of our fan base raving over Tyler's show. He doesn't look like anything special. Am I just? You're not. I don't quite get what everybody is putting him clear at the top of their list for. At
No.
least, I mean, if you like him, you like him. But the fact that they like him and nobody else, that bugs me.
No, yeah, like the fans clamoring for him, like in the third round. No, I'd take him in the sixth if he's there. 27 years old. He's like the same age as Trevor Lawrence. He's the same age as Trevor Lawrence. He's injury prone. Had to bounce around from program to program. Had a terrible completion percentage in the MAC. I just don't get it. I don't see it when I watch him. He doesn't wow me. So I just don't know what it is with Jalen Milrow, or not Jalen Miller, excuse me, Tyler Shaw, whatever his name is. Put me down as a hater as well, Corey. I'm just not a fan. Like he'd be a fine addition in the 6th round as your backup right now. He's not going to be a franchise guy. I just don't. I just don't see it.
Yeah, this is the scoop that I got, guys. Apparently, Colin Coward, he says that inside sources say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are ready. They really like Milrow. I'm sorry, Jalen Milrow, and Colin Coward goes on to say that the team would be interested to take him in the first round if in fact that he's there at 21, which I don't doubt in a million years he's going to be there. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there at 21. But that's some Colin Coward scoop. You know how that usually plays
Yeah,
out. It's usually
yeah.
outrageous at first and never really formulates into anything. But that's the scoop I got on him. And the other quarterback scoop that I did get, guys, on as far as guys coming out of college, I read that Jackson Dart, he will be in Pittsburgh for a pre-draft meeting in April. So that's the guy I like. I like Jackson Dart. A
Yeah,
lot of people were, these, you hear the same four names being thrown around. I like
yeah,
Jackson Dart. I don't hate Jalen Milrow. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't imagine the Steelers would take Jalen Milrow at 21 in a million years.
no,
I don't see that happening. But that's the scoop that I got as far as any quarterback scoop out of the college ranks. I also one thing that I seen in a few different posts yesterday and today was that Aaron Rodgers may be leaning more toward retirement. One of the articles went on to say because his initial three targets they didn't work out for him, and now that it's just
mhm,
down to him in Pittsburgh, he's leaning possibly towards retiring. Which at the end of the day, I'm fine with at this point, Mike. As I said, if we bring him in, I'm cool
mhm,
with it. At this point, whatever.
yeah,
Let's see what he could do. Let's see if he could still wing the ball around to these receivers. Might be a nice change of pace from what we've seen over the past 3 or 4 years. But on the other hand, Mike, if he doesn't come here and we have to deal with Mason Rudolph, I think that only helps our draft next year. I
yeah,
think next year's draft is going to be
mhm.
phenomenal. To be honest with you, it's going to be here in Pittsburgh. We're going to have like 105 picks. I mean, it's going to be a
Right?
lot of fun, and I can't wait. So again, if that's another thing that could help us out, having Mason Rudolph start, and who knows, he might have a good season. Who knows? But
Yeah,
as I said, for the journeyman that he's been around the league, and if he doesn't do great, I think that can only help out in next year's draft. And if that happens, next year's draft again, Mike, is turning out to be like it's going to be a really big event. Cannot wait.
yeah.
I know that you do have a couple listeners staying with you in your room there, and
Apparently,
you, Mark
apparently,
Malone, and Ron Navy.
it
And
grows
yeah,
by the day. It grows by the day.
that's right. And I tell you what, it's going to be more probably by the time we get there. We're going to have
Yeah.
everybody on the board staying over at your house for the draft, which I'm okay with. I'm totally fine with that. Um, but let's check out what's going on the board. Good morning, Caleb. What's up, brother? Over Enthusiastic Mod. Caleb says -2 Doge coins for fooling Derpy. Dude can't even locate batteries for his fire alarm. Corey says it's not fair, I guess. Every time I see a quarterback throw a duck, I say Ben would have made that throw. Yeah. And then P, what's up, brother? P, good morning to you. I guess good night to you, maybe. Um, over there. I'm not quite sure what's going on in Japan, but he says Eli won 2 Super Bowls throwing ducks. Go figure. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Can you imagine if it wasn't for those two receivers? Who was it? Tyreek something or other caught it on his face mask, and I mean the two catches that won those Super Bowls were phenomenal. If you didn't make those two amazing catches, even though they weren't in the end zone, those are the game. So I mean, New England wins 2 more Super Bowls if it wasn't for those receivers. Again, you trying to put Eli Manning's lucky ducks up against Ben Roethlisberger's drive in the Arizona Cardinal game to win the
Yeah.
game. That's not even the same ballpark, right?
Not even, yeah, not even close. Not even close. Like, it was a Hail Mary throw by Eli thrown up there, and the guy makes the helmet catch. Like
David
that was
Tyree.
all David Tyree. Yeah, thank you, Corey. Without him, like that's a loss. That's a win for New England right there. So yeah, Ben's drive in the Super Bowl. It's funny. It gets overlooked in the lore of the
Mm-hmm.
NFL history. Like any other quarterback wins the MVP for that drive. Santonio Holmes does not win the MVP if that's a Tom Brady, if that's a Peyton Manning, if that's a Joe Montana or a Steve Young. The quarterback gets it, but because it was Big Ben, it went to Santonio Holmes, who don't forget the play before he caught the game-winning touchdown. He let a potential game-winning touchdown pass fall through his hands, and it was the easier catch too. So, I don't know. Ben just got overlooked in that Super Bowl and his entire career. That should be up there. And people say, "Oh, the sea of hands catch," or the catch. Like those catches were nowhere near what Tone had to do and what Ben had to do to get the ball there. So yeah, underrated play in NFL history. Sorry for the tangent.
Caleb says I was going to come out there, but there wasn't any space for my Jim Palmer post. There is space.
Yeah, I have an empty wall. We can do a whole wall of Jim Palmer posters for you, buddy.
See what Caleb and Mark Malone and Ron Navy. Oh, they'll all be jam packed in your room. This is going to be great. Matter of fact, I think we're going to make this a pay per view or something on the site.
Put it on the Patreon.
Yes. Corey says it's because they tried to say Holmes didn't have both feet down and made a conspiracy out of it, just like Ben's touchdown in Super Bowl 40, where the nose of the ball, of course, did cross the plane, or at least touch the plane. He says, my ex grew up with David Tyree. Her ex was his cousin. She picked the wrong cousin. Yeah, man. Yes. You know what? Nonetheless, I'm glad that Eli Manning did win those Super Bowls, because how annoying would it be if those were also New England wins, especially being the one where they were undefeated anyway, and they would have went 19-0. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for Eli. Caleb says my Jim Palmer poster doesn't like showering. You know what? He fits right in because Mike doesn't like showering either. And look, Mark Malone. Look at this. Mark Malone is in the house too. He says, sign me up. It's really building a lot of momentum. I'm going to tell you, Mike. And then Tortilla Jackson. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. He says, yo, had a long night. I'll be back to watch the show. Just wanted to come in and say, what's up? What's up, my man? Hope everything's going. Yes, hope everything's going good for you. And we'll see you when you get back. Thanks, man. So Mark Malone, Ron Navy, Caleb, and Mike. Mike, and if you want, if Durfee doesn't buy this, you could have this. I don't know whatever the hell you would do with this, but there you go. But
no, that's
too. It's borrow Durfee's green, his green one, and I don't know.
My social anxiety's kicking in. You kept rattling off names, and it did not stop. Like that. That's for too many people.
Well, it's going to be more by the time this is over. So
that's going to be the whole squad. It's going to be.
You better start straightening. You better clean that bathroom because, well, I guess it isn't Jim. Well, yeah, and you can't forget Mike his poster as well. You're only counting Jim, or you're only counting Caleb.
You know, it might just be me and Jim Palmer by the time this gets finalized. So, yeah,
might have to work
everywhere I look.
We might have to work Derpy's house into this somehow.
Yeah, everyone can stay at Derpy's house. Bring 9-volt batteries.
They could all watch Peaches. She could entertain everybody. Pieces I call not showering daily, low grade depression. But yeah, Mike, I got to say, Aunt Peaches, come on.
You give me Aunt Peaches. You know what? Just give me Aunt Peaches. I'm happy with that.
Stuff Aunt Peaches in that room with all you guys.
I'll stuff something in Aunt Peaches.
We're off to a bad start, Mike. The Pirates. Why? Listen to this.
Us as individuals, the show, or the Pirates?
The Pirates are now. They started yesterday. Okay, most of the leagues. I believe all the leagues started yesterday. Well, the Pirates. Well, all right. On the good side, on the positive side, they are only a game out of first place. I'll start by saying that.
Only a game out, boys.
But out of 32 teams, Mike, the Pirates are 9th all time with best winning percentage on opening day. Only 8 teams have better record than the Pittsburgh Pirates on opening day in the history of Major League Baseball. They're the 9th best team with a 536. Only 9 teams have played better on opening day. Let's see how that played, Mike, because, of course, with Paul Skeens on the hill, I would think that you're only ready to add to that. Of course, Paul Skeens gets the nod yesterday, Mike. Paul Skeens does very well. Paul Skeens goes 5 in the 3rd innings, gives up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, has 7 strikeouts. As a matter of fact, he had 4 strikeouts in his first 2 innings of pitching, was just dominating. He struck out the very first batter. I mean, you knew it was going to be a good day for him, and he did. He went through the lineup and he was putting them down, and he had the lead. We were up, I believe, what was it, 4-2. And then the late inning woes by the bullpen Mike, I mean, come on. It was like as if we were looking into a crystal ball when we were talking about the team yesterday. It was Colin Holderman, the 8th inning guy, and David Bednar, our closer, Mike. The two of those, between the two of those in the 8th and the 9th inning, they gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, only had 1 strikeout, Mike, and David Bednar did not get any buddy out.
Yeah.
In the 9th inning. He came in, got no outs, gave up 2 runs. Holderman and Bednar again going to be the Achilles heel. That bullpen is terrible. Everything else looked good. The guys, of course, Paul Skeens looked good. The offense was okay. I mean, you know, for what they are. And Nicky Gonzalez, Mike, he hits a home run, first home run of the season for the Pirates. But here's another thing. He's trotting around the bases, and he gets hurt trotting around the bases on a home run. You could, I mean, this team is, I swear the Indians, Mike, the Major League movies were made about the Pirates. They just went with the Indians franchise for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly.
We had 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 hits. Pham, Reynolds, Nicky G, and Brian Hayes all had 1 hit. And again, Nicky G with the home run. He gets injured. Mike, the Pirates are back at it all through the weekend, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Against these Miami Marlins. Today they play at 7:10. It's a Mitch Keller start. Tomorrow is a Bailey Falter start at 4:10, and then Sunday is a 1:40 start. And we're gonna be able to take a look at Haney on the hill too. And then they head off to Tampa Bay after that, and then we open up, Mike, next Friday at home. The home schedule against the New York Yankees. So that'll be fun. That'll draw a lot of folks to town. But nonetheless, the Pirates, Mike, they're only a game out of first place. I guess it couldn't be any worse, right?
You know, it's like Derpy said in the group chat. Well, I guess there's 161 left. That's just how it feels with the Buckers. Like you said, Nicky G hits the home run, just, you know, casually trotting around the base path, pulls a hammy. Only the Pirates. You know, Holderman should have had strike 3 on the guy looking. Umpire says it's a ball. Clearly well within inside the strike zone. You know, God forbid our manager come out and argue balls and strikes, stick up for the guy. The very next pitch, boom, you know, game tying signal. This is Bucko baseball to a T. We called it yesterday. Keens will pitch a gem. Something will happen. And, you know, bullpen will blow it, and they did. You know, finally we get offense for them, but, you know, it's the bullpen. And it's just, we didn't spend any money to upgrade the team, and this is what we get.
And the guy you let go, Aroldis Chapman, again at 40 years old or whatever he is, I would take him over Colin Holderman any day of the week. Yeah. At least he gets people out. At least he gets a lot of strikeouts. No, you know, people didn't run on him. It was just what a dumb move. I would have paid more money to keep him around, but. You know, the Pirates, Mike, but we could also went with the guy that threw out the first pitch. If he would have stepped on the hill, maybe, just maybe, we would have did a little bit better, of course, from right here at Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh. The one and only Dan Marino down there in Miami, throwing out the first pitch for the game between Miami and Pittsburgh. That was pretty cool. It would have been even cooler to see him maybe in a Pitt Panther shirt, but that has nothing to do with what's going on. He came out in his Miami Marlins shirt throughout the first pitch. It was really cool nonetheless, but people forget, Mike, he was drafted by the Royals. He got drafted by the Kansas City Royals, and then he chose to go on and play in the NFL. So Dan Marino looked good out there still. I mean, come on, he's got to be 60-some years old. He's got to be in his mid-60s for crying out loud. So still looking good, still throwing the ball. Yeah. You know, but Dan Marino, everybody. And also, Mike, this game between the Pirates and the Marlins all throughout the weekend is the second lowest ticket in the majors. Mike, some tickets costing $108, $100, $94. Mike, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Pittsburgh Pirates and Miami Marlins, the tickets are a cool $17. That's right, $17. If you don't have the money, check the console in between the seats on your way down to the stadium, because you just might be able to scrape that up and get your ticket. $17, Mike, is what the tickets are down in Miami for the Bucks and Marlins. So it's baseball season's back. Nothing has changed.
Oh, I love it. Bucko baseball. Catch the Bucko
Bucko
fever.
baseball. Catch the fever. I tried. I tried.
I tried.
But you know
It was
me.
over. It was over after Halterman gave up the tying run.
You know me. I'll have the problem with them, and then they'll win 2 games, and then I'll be buying my World Series tickets.
Yep,
And
you'll be back
you know how I
invested
get.
in. Yep.
Yeah, I do it every year. Caleb says 1 Dioge to Peaches. You know what? We might have to pay her. We're gonna have to dish out some Dioge to Peaches if she's entertaining all you guys. P says every woman that lets herself be called Peaches knows what's up. That's right, exactly. She's a special gal.
Yes, she
Caleb
is.
also goes on to say, "Hey, I know it sucks. The bullpen blew the game, but Sid Bream was out. Damn right he was. He runs. I mean, Mike. He runs slightly slower than Mike does. I can tell you this. And the fact that Sid Bream made it all the way around and scored will always scar my inner happiness.
Yeah.
And but it was definitely the bullpen yesterday, and that's what it. You know what? That's the weak point. There's no doubt about it. They did nothing. A couple of these other guys they brought, we'll see what they could do. But yeah, I really wish they would have fixed the bullpen, Mike. P says $17 highway robbery for that baseball game. It is. You know what? To see Paul Skeens for $17,
that's a deal.
You think would be, that's a deal. But to see Paul Skeens' lead get blown by the bullpen and they lose, that's what sucks about this team. That's why they're never going to be anything. That's why it's hard to buy into the hype. Even with Paul, and and I get it. Paul Skeens is worth it, but the whole entire deal they got going, man, what a fucking what a joke!
It's a shit show.
It's a Cleveland Brown. It's what's that?
It's a shit show.
It really is, and it's like we know what the Browns feel like. We truly, honestly know what the Browns feel like here in Pittsburgh because it's been that kind of a run.
Yeah,
for these Pirates.
It has, yeah.
So that's that. Mike, back at it today, 7:10. Mitch Keller on the hill. Should be a Jared Jones start, but of course he is out for a considerable amount of time, which is another big hit for the Pirates. Jared Jones was supposed to be the 2-man on the rotation. He's out. Mitch Keller. He should still do well. And also, Mike, one other thing I do want to note to you is Endy Rodriguez made the start at first base. So we were wondering what was going to go on with first. Joey Bart was behind the plate and Endy was at first. I think this is probably what they're going to stick with. I don't really see any other way they could do it. But if they do that, they're probably going to have to pull another catcher up. So all those things are to be expected for the Pirates again tonight. The 0-1 Pirates, the Pirates that are only 1 game out of first place, Mike. I was going to go on with them being undefeated as long as I could if they would have won. I would have, But now that they lost, they're only a game out of first. So I'm going to stick with that. It's going to make me feel good about this. And the Pirates today, tomorrow, and Sunday against the Marlins are back next week on the road against Tampa Bay and then at home against the Yankees. Let's skate over to the other team in town, Mike. Yeah, the Yankees. That's what I was saying. I'd love to get onto the game next week, but it's going to be a madhouse.
Yeah,
it's going to be a madhouse
and
with the Yankees in town.
I don't want. Yeah, and I really don't want to financially support the team because they really don't financially support the product on the field to attract me as a paying customer. Gotta support the team.
I wish Joe Hanrahan was still around. Even him, remember Jason Grilly?
Grilly.
Mark Melanson.
Dude, Melanson.
I take any of those guys.
Shit. Melanson was great. I was a big Mark Melanson fan.
I take any of those guys any day of the week more than what we have right now. David Bednar is not going to get cut this season. He's going to, and if anything, because he's a Pittsburgh guy. He's from Mars. He's not going anywhere. And if anything, they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt and let him play it out instead of cutting him, trading him, moving him, whatever. So that's what more of the same for the Pirates. I don't expect that to change. Mike, we are going to skate over to the Penguins, who has managed to lose the last 2 games by a total score of 13-4. Of course, the Tampa Bay game earlier in the week was a 6-1 loss. They lose to the Steelers lose to the Bills 7-3. As the Buffalo Sabres, they beat the Penguins 7-3. Sidney Crosby, though, Mike, Sidney Crosby does reach a big plateau as he becomes the what is it? Is it the only player, or is it the leading the
Only
way?
player.
But 20 consecutive point per game seasons, Mike. So that's explain what that is, Mike.
He's going to average a point a game average in the NHL for the 20th season in a row. He has 80 points. He's only going to be eligible to play in 80 games this year. So that's Mr. Consistency right there. You know, you're on average, you're getting a point, a goal, or an assist every night from Sidney Crosby. And
So
my God, Gretzky did it for 19 years. Sid did it he's on 20. You forget like he missed a year and a half, almost 2 full years of hockey due to being headhunted and the league doing nothing to protect him. So he could be at season 22 right now of point a game average. It's just insane how consistent he is game in, game out, and year after year.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike, they're only about I think 7 or 8 games left in the season. Can't be many more than that. This team, they also play again on Sunday, where they host the Ottawa Senators. That game is at 5 o'clock, Mike. I thought that the Penguins might be making his late season rush, but after these last 2 games, letting up 13 goals, Jarry looks like crap again.
Yeah.
13 goals is not good in 2 games. I mean, come on, that's what the Steelers defense. They look like the Steelers defense.
They did,
But
and
come on,
yeah,
13
they
points
caught up.
in 2 games.
Yeah, they caught up a couple young guys, so the writing's on the wall. It's done. It's over. They had a nice little last hurrah there. Now it's just finding out what these young guys have, and what players that are going to be here next year or used as trade bait to see what they can do. And back to Crosby real quick. He's 37 years old and he's tied for 7th in points with 80. That's insane.
There you go.
That is insane. He's still chugging along as a top 10 player in the league at 37 years old.
All right. Sidney Crosby. My Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they are opening up at home this weekend, but at weekend against Birmingham, the Pittsburgh soccer team, tomorrow at 7 o'clock down at Highmark. Get down and check out the Riverhounds. Support them and cheer them on. Birmingham tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Caleb says Jason Grilly did a podcast on for a while. I like Grilly. He was all right. Yeah, when I got his autograph for my middle boy when we went to a Pirate game, he was kind of a snot. I mean, you go down there and stand along the field, and some guys were really excited. He kind of made it look like, I guess I'll lend you my time, but I don't know. He seemed all right, I guess. But
you're not Barry Bonds. You can't big time people.
I got Garrett Cole's autograph that day as well, so that was cool. That was worth it in itself. But Grilly was kind of a snob, but man, what are you gonna do? Oh, Mike, the PIAA, the state championships here in Pennsylvania, high school basketball wraps up this week. Mike, there's 2 boys teams and there's 2 women's team. Girls, I'm sorry, that are playing for state gold this weekend. The games today, Swickley Academy, they play at 2 o'clock, and then South Allegheny, the team that knocked Aliquippa out both times, they also play. They play at 2 o'clock tomorrow. The Upper St. Clair girls play at 6 o'clock today, and South Fayette girls play at 6 o'clock tomorrow. So 4 teams left, Mike, to win state gold in the basketball state tournament. The PIAA, Swickley Academy, South Allegheny, that's the boys, Upper St. Clair, and South Fayette, that's the gals. So good luck to those 4 teams, and that's not bad. I mean, I guess you're sending 4 teams from the District 7 to the state championship games. We'll take it. So good luck to those 4 and bring home the gold.
Hell yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
UFL. The UFL kicks off tonight at 8 o'clock. We have spring football, guys. That's right. If you turn over to Fox at 8 o'clock tonight, you could catch the St. Louis Battlehawks and the Houston Roughnecks. That game's at 8 o'clock to kick off the UFL season. Mike, Drayvon Henry Askew from Aliquippa, of course, the same high school that Darrell Rivas and Ty Law and Mike Ditka and Sean Gilbert, and even this close to being Tony Dorsett living in a neighboring town. But Mike, him and the Battlehawks will be at it tonight, opening up the season against Houston in Houston. That's at 8 o'clock. It continues tomorrow when San Antonio travels to Arlington. That game was at 4 o'clock. And then 2-game UFL weekend, Mike, the opening weekend. Michigan at Memphis is at noon on Sunday. In Birmingham at DC. They
That's
are
my
the 3
team,
o'clock
baby.
game on Sunday, Mike. You like what is DC?
DC, baby, because they got the beer snake. Even though they always try to outlaw it, the fans start building the beer snake. I love it. It started when they were in Dallas was in the XFL, I think. Carried over from the XFL. I can't remember. But yeah, they had the beer snakes. They would put all the beer cups together and they did snake it throughout the stadium or that whole section. It was a great tradition. They try to, the league and the stadium tries to, crack down on it. The fans say F you and they build the beer snake. So I am a DC Defender fan until the day I die. Beer snake for life.
You're a fan of the snake, huh, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Let me touch it.
With that being said, Mike, today the March Madness continues.
Yes.
And then there were 12. As of last night, Mike, 4 teams got eliminated. The 4 games that went on yesterday was Alabama and BYU. Number 2 Alabama, number 6 BYU. Bama wins that game big, 113-88. Alabama moves on to the Elite 8. The second game, Mike, was number 4 Maryland at number 1 Florida. Florida wins that game 87-71. The number 1 Florida does move on to the next round, which these games are going to be played tomorrow. Also last night, Mike, the number 1 Duke Blue Devils beats the number 4 Arizona Wildcats 100-93. That's your squad.
It's my squad, boys.
So right now, Mike, 2 of the 4 number 1 seeds that we did pick here on the show, they are in the Elite 8. And then finally, the other game last night, Mike, was probably the best game. Number 3 Texas Tech, they beat number 10 Arkansas 85-83 in overtime. Arkansas, Mike, this was the second biggest comeback in Sweet 16 history. I forget what the run was, but Texas Tech ended out coming back from big.
Yeah,
they come back, tie the game, go to overtime, pull off the win, send John Calipari in the Arkansas Razorbacks home, Mike, as they continue, and they will move on. Texas Tech, they will also play on Saturday. Texas Tech versus Florida and Alabama versus Duke. The games today, Mike, they start at, I don't know what time they start, but I do know that Ole Miss, number 6, is playing number 2 Michigan State. I believe these are probably like 7 o'clock, give or take. Number 3 Kentucky takes on number 2 Tennessee. Number 5 Michigan versus number 1 Auburn. And finally, the light game of the night, which is the one I'm going to be paying attention to, is number 4 Purdue and number 1 Houston, which is my team, Mike. So 2 in, me and Derpy's team. Me and Derpy's teams play today. We'll see if they advance to play on Sunday. But, Mike, here by the end of the day, we're going to have an Elite 8. And by the time we come back and do the show on Monday, we're going to have a Final 4 getting ready to head into that week. And also, women's Final 4, Mike. I do want to add that that's also coming up, and it's made a pretty big name for itself over the past 3 or 4 years. So maybe keep your eye open for the women's tournament and Final 4 as well, because that last one, Mike, was one of the more entertaining women's Final 4s I've ever seen.
It was last year's was really entertaining. So was the year before, but this year, USC losing Juju Watkins, that puts a blow on the tournament right there. She was like the best college player. If she stays in college, could potentially rival Caitlin Clark for most career points, and to lose her, that's just a blow to the tournament overall. But hopefully, the games will be fun and entertaining and tight down the stretch for them. Because, women's basketball is starting to make a little run. See if they can keep it up.
That's what I'm saying. Last year was all about the personalities. That's why I want to watch it this year, to see if it still has the same interest, the same lure.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, I bought into the Angel Reese. I bought into Caitlin Clark. I bought into all them ladies. So I want to see if it still has the same lure now that they're gone. So I definitely will be watching the women. Thank you, Caleb. Caleb says the games start at 7. They're like 7:09, 7:39.
Yeah,
9:39. And so, yeah, all that tonight, guys. Yep. We will, of course, have a Elite 8 by the end of today. And, Mike, all of us are still alive in the tournament, so we'll see how that plays out. Wouldn't that be something if all 4 of these teams, they do go to the Final 4? It's me, you, Derpy, and Finn. But it'll be a lot of fun, Mike.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say it's been. I can't remember the last time 4 number ones made it to the final 4.
And also, I do want to note this, Mike. Ole Miss. Ole Miss is the highest remaining seed. Yesterday it was Arkansas. And before they got knocked off, they were 10.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss is 6 overall. 6 overall. So
Oh
I'm kind of
wow.
rooting for them. I always
Yeah.
like the lowest possible seeds. I'm going to root for Ole Miss, but I'm also going to be rooting for Houston as well. Caleb says, fun fact, the WNBA has been outdrawing Major League Baseball TV audiences since September 2019.
Oh wow.
I wonder what it's doing to the NBA. I heard their ratings were really bad in the past couple of seasons. I don't know what's going on over there. But, Mike, if the WNBA starts earning, are they going to have to carry the guys over in the NBA?
They're gonna have to. Turnabout's fair play. They got to step up to carry those guys. They
All
got to
right,
foot
man.
the
Let's
bill.
let's get over to the gridiron. I was starting
Yes.
to get the shakes.
I
The
know, man. I
nauseous
felt like
talking.
I had the shakes. I was detoxing over here, man.
Hmm. Too much
Too much
too
baseball
much
talk.
too much beer snake.
Beer snake. Beer snake.
Steelers, Mike. Apparently, there's a lot of interest in this kid from Ohio State as well. The quarterback, what's his name?
Will
Howard or
Howard.
what's the big deal? What's the big deal with him? I remember thinking when I'm watching Ohio State in the playoffs that this guy wasn't really that good. I mean, yeah, he's good. He got the team to the state or the championship, but wasn't he the one that made the big mistake in their first loss of the season where he forgot to call a timeout, or there was some big blunder that he
Yeah,
had?
yeah.
Uh, I mean, come on. I mean, this is but I wasn't impressed with this guy. I remember watching, and then I thought they should be. I just didn't see it, Mike. I did not see it
Yeah.
with Will Howard.
I don't see it either, but some of the ex pros that I watched, that ex quarterbacks that I watched that break down film, they were like, okay. They were like, I see what he's doing in the offense. Yeah, you're surrounded by first round draft picks everywhere you look, but the way he was operating the offense, how how he processes the game, how he processes
Wait,
the
didn't they lose to
information.
Michigan?
Yeah, they lost to Michigan, but they end up storm rolling through the
Wait a
playoffs.
minute, but
So
that's really not important. I mean, it is eventually, but the
it
fact
is.
that they choked like they did early in the season,
Yeah,
they choked against Michigan, they choked in
against
against
Oregon.
Oregon with the blunder
Yeah,
by the quarterback. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
yeah, but no, like I'm not a fan of them, but I see after watching their breakdowns why people would like him, but he's not going to be a franchise guy. Like right now, you would draft him. He can step in right away and be a backup quarterback, and then 2 years down the line fight for a starting job. But he's not a guy that you can pluck right in and put in. He's not going to be like a Bo Nix this year of how he was drafted. People are like, oh, why'd you take him? You put him in, he can run that offense right away. Will Howard's going to take some time. I'm just not. If we draft him anything higher than the 4th round, I'm going to be pissed. Same thing, like I wouldn't be opposed with Jalen Milroe in the 4th round because he's a project. He's someone like he can throw a great deep ball, can run, can read, but that short and intermediate accuracy he needs to clean up, and a lot of it is just mechanical issues. Again, watching pros break down his film, it's like it's footwork stuff that needs to be worked on. And at that level of college, it's like, hey, we're not going to refine you as long as you can run our offense and win its games. Just go out there and do what you do. We'll do what we can, but we're not making you a finished product for the pros. So you get a quarterback coach that can sit there and work with this guy. I would take a Milroe, but do the Steelers have a quarterback coach that can do that? Does our quarterback coach have that track record? Because I know we got him. He came in last year. It's a new quarterback coach. So if you think you can train him up, I'm drafting Milroe in the 4th round because I think that would be a steal. In the 4th, I'm not drafting him in the 1st like Colin Cowherd saying. He's just saying shit like that because he knows Steeler fans.
Yeah.
He talks shit on the Steelers in Pittsburgh all the time because he knows Pittsburghers are passionate about our sports team and about our town, and so we'll engage him. So whatever he says about the Steelers, I put that on the pay no mind list. But drafting Milroe in the 4th round, I would love it. I think that'd be a good pick. Same thing like Will Howard, 4th round. Okay. Will Howard could be
I
my
just don't
backup
get what
for
all
the
these people are
future.
like. They love, the show from Louisville. They love
I just don't
Howard.
see it for.
I don't see it with any of these guys. I'm like, this is not a good quarterback class. I mean, we could the pros are going to talk up the guys that are there because I mean that's obviously the best we have this year in the draft. But come on, let's be honest, this is not a strong quarterback draft, Mike. And the fact that the Steelers are willing to take anybody basically. They like Milrow, they like this guy, they like Ewers, they like I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what goes down next month as the draft does come, Mike. But again, I think by default, you're if you're a good quarterback playing in Ohio State with all those receivers and
Yeah.
weapons and running backs, I think once he gets to the pros and he's going to be facing defenses that are going to be shutting those guys down that made his career in college easy. It's going to become a whole different game for him. And again, it's a whole different game anyway. So, is he an elite and out of quarterbacks coming out of college? Not at all. I mean, people
No.
are always going to say, well, he did win the national champ. Well, you know what? So did JJ McCarthy. And, I mean, he's not exactly setting the world on fire either. I mean, who knows? Maybe Howard gets injured. He's in this, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's so hard to take that best quarterback in college, Mike. I mean, what happened to Tim Tebow? He's supposedly the best college quarterback ever.
Yeah.
So guys that really excel in college, sometimes they don't make the jump.
Yeah, like Danny Warfel. He won a Heisman. He won a national championship at Florida. He's not a pro quarterback. You can be a college quarterback, a great college athlete, great college player, but you just don't have the skill set that carries over to the pros to be a big time player. And like for me, Will Howard said he's going to be a career backup type guy. Same thing with Show or Suck or whatever the fuck his name is, going to be a career backup. And that's fine. Shit, man, that's not how many people can make it to the NFL and say, hey, I played 5 years as backup in the NFL. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. But you're not going to win my team a Super Bowl. You're not going to be my guy. That's what I'm looking for in this draft. And, maybe Dart can be that guy. Maybe Sanders can be that guy. Maybe Cam Ward can be that guy. There's no one that really wows you in this class, but there's little pieces of some of them that are oh, there's something we can latch onto. Will it work down the line? But none of these guys, I think, are franchise saviors. I think some of them can eventually be really good, productive quarterbacks, but I don't think there's stars in the making in here. I don't think there's going to be a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen. I think the one who has the best chance is Cam Ward, but you're going to go to Tennessee and your career is going to be over.
Mike, let's get caught up on a couple of these messages. P says baseball is boring as fuck until the playoffs. Then it's just boring. You know what? Baseball is boring for Pirates fans. It's never good. When baseball is exciting is when your team's winning. And as you said, when your team's in the playoffs, and we're generally not in the playoffs, and it's hard. It's hard to be a Pirate fan. I mean, we're again, it's like the Browns of baseball. So we have an idea of what they're going through. It's no fun. Caleb says this season each WNBA team will make like $17 million in TV rights. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks, Rockies, Padres, Guardians, and Twins all are without TV deals. That's the Derpy's team, the Guardians. Also, he says, I love baseball, but they really shot themselves in the foot with the over-reliance on cable RSNs in the 2010s. Again, I mean, people would love the Pirates. When they gave you that glimmer of hope in 2013, 14, 15, the city went crazy. You couldn't keep anything that said Pirates on the shelves, and people loved it. They ate it up, and they showed up at the stadium. They showed their support, and they showed their enthusiasm. But you got to show us that first before we come and do our part.
Yeah.
We've been getting fooled too long. We've been spending our money coming down to the stadium and getting the same terrible results year after year. Now they have to give a little back, right?
Yeah.
Caleb also says Diamondbacks in medium market number 12 are expected to make only $5 million this year from their MLB run. Diamondbacks TV, and that what did we just say at the beginning of the week? Like the Pirates, they what was it? They're broke or they went bankrupt or what was it? They had to get like loans because they lost money or something. They lost millions over the past few years or something. It was something crazy.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
It was the Pirates. I just can't remember what the deal was.
What the fuck was I can't remember.
They lost like so many $1 million over the past couple of years. Anyway, not something that an established organization should have going on. I mean, that's something a new
Yeah.
team would do. You're trying to,
Yeah.
catch up. Let's see. Corey says we can't develop anyone. That's why the team is relying so much on Rodgers being here. He can teach a rookie a lot. By the day, it's looking like Mason is going to have to groom someone. That's my only concern, Mike. If we do get one of these young quarterbacks that we hope is the guy of the future, as you said, are we good enough to develop a quarterback? We don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
because we have our quarterback coach has only been here a season. Tom Arth. He came from. He spent a year or two with out in San Diego as a passing game coordinator. He coached in what D2, D3 in college. He was a former quarterback himself. So at the pro level, he really hasn't had to develop a quarterback. So saying we can't develop him, that's we don't know yet. Tom Arth, we don't know if he can.
And we don't know if he can either. So I mean,
we don't know if he can or can't. So to say he can't is not fair to say, and say he can is also not fair to say as well. It's unknown if Tom Arth can.
Well, until he does anything, I think that you would have to lean on the ladder, just because, again, if he's never coached, you'd have to think that he's not going to be as good as somebody who's been experienced and done this before, and maybe developed a player. That just hasn't happened, Mike. So again, who knows what we're going to see? A lot of young people, a lot of these young players, they want to come up to the NFL, they want to play, they want to learn. We'll see if we can get that done. We'll see if Mason Rudolph could, tutor. But again, we still don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, so still a lot to go on. Okay, so Caleb's talking about the Pirates loan story. These Pirates. But Mike, also, as I was saying, with just by the way everything went, you really hope that this guy could come here and really coach up a quarterback and develop him. But at the end of the day, nothing has seemed to be gone that way for us. I mean, do you go out and get yourself a really good coach to be your quarterback coach, or do you get a guy that has no experience? The Pittsburgh Steelers go out and get the guy that has no experience. That's what's kind of bothering people.
He has experience as coaching, as a coach. He was a head coach. He was a quarterback coach.
Right, but for developing a quarterback coach?
Yeah, he was a quarterback coach
in 2012?
In 2010, 2012. Yeah, then he became head coaches. Then he became a head coach.
Like 15 years ago? Like 2 decades ago?
Yeah, but he worked his way up. And as a head coach in college.
I'm just going to be honest. This doesn't surprise me.
Like this is how it works.
It doesn't surprise me.
You start as a coordinator or something in college, you become a head coach in college.
I understand how it works. I'm just telling you, it's not going to work.
The pros. Then you come to the pros. He worked as a pass game coordinator with Justin Herbert for a season. Then he came to Pittsburgh, where he worked with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. And
we can argue till we're blue in the face because we don't know, but I think we should make it interesting, just in case it happens one way or the other. That way it's interesting between us, because I don't think it's going to work. I think that we hire garbage a lot of the times because of reasons, instead of going out and get somebody that's really established. Okay, the guy was a coach. The guy probably coached, what did he coach? High school football or something. When it comes down to coaching, again, it was hold on.
But to say he can't do it.
Wait, hold on. I let you say. Can I say? All right. Yeah. I don't think the Steelers, this is generally how they handle their coaching, Mike. If you think that this guy's going to come and he's going to raise one of these quarterbacks and develop him to be a good starting franchise quarterback, that's good for you, but I don't think it's going to happen. And again, I'm so confident with my prediction, I would be willing to make it interesting if you want to, because this is just the way that Tolman hires. It's the way the Steelers hire. And it's been a problem for Pittsburgh for some time. We've gone inferior as far as hiring coaches and assistant coaches and things over the past 10 years for whatever reason. But again, I mean, It could go either way. We don't know. You're not right. You're not wrong. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. But I would be willing to make it interesting, because I believe that it won't go as well as maybe you're saying that it could. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I really do. I really hope that I'm wrong.
Well, as we established yesterday, you're never wrong. You're wrong that one time, yes. You were wrong that one time, yeah.
No, well, yeah, one time, yeah.
Yeah, one time, yeah.
And that's why you wrote it on the calendar, because it's a very rare.
Yeah,
rare occasion.
It never happens.
I mean,
never.
Okay, let's get it aboard. Corey says, and maybe he can. Maybe that's why we saw Fields play better than he did in Chicago through 6 games. But we also don't know if that was Arthur or Bears' inept approach to offense. I know what it is. It's the Bears. They stink. Listen, the Bears never had a good quarterback. Think about it. Jim McMahon, Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler. That's their 3 best quarterbacks of all time. Say that to yourself a couple times. Jim McMahon, Rex Grossman, and Jay Cutler. Is the 3 best quarterbacks. They stink. The Bears never have. Talking about us being bad at developing a quarterback. I don't know if that team's ever developed a quarterback.
And we developed 2. And that's all that matters.
And Corey says, in our history, developing players in general hasn't been great. So that's 2 things not giving the Steelers the edge to develop the guy. But I hope I hope for the best, guys. I'm not. Listen, I don't want them to fail.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, this is the way that it turns out when they every coach that they hire. Listen, we got to move on. I'm like, there's not much time.
I don't know. Like
P says
we never
NFL should have big rosters. They keep what's that?
Saying we never develop players. It's kind of, I don't know. I think that's false. Jalen Warren's gotten better every year. Pickens has gotten better.
I'm just saying, like when good teams put
Austin's gotten better every year.
Together coaching staffs, they bring in good coaches.
You know, like TJ Watt was a 30th round pick.
Listen, when you talk when I do, I can't hear what you're saying.
Well, I am talking. You're the one who interjected.
That guy has Mike, the guy hasn't had a sack in the last 3 games of the season. You're saying this is a great development, this TJ Watt, this guy that has
TJ Watt,
won a playoff game?
He was a 30th overall draft pick. Since he came into the league, has been the best at sacking the quarterback. Yeah, I say that's hell of a development of a player who did not flash this greatness in college.
He can't develop to win a playoff game or make any statistics in the playoffs. That's great.
Okay, so
that's great to you.
We're going to
that's why
we're going to discount 108
sacks. The way that you do.
We're going to discount a defensive player of the year award. That's not great.
I say
no? That's not great. We didn't develop a player who was a borderline first-round pick into a Hall of Fame player. We did not develop him. We don't develop anyone. You guys are right.
You don't think that he was going to be, Mike, you don't think TJ Watt was going to be good on any team he played on? Let me tell you, his brother JJ was a superstar, and TJ would have been good on any team. That wasn't a Pittsburgh Steelers development. Believe me, this dude was going to be tough. This guy was a pro in college.
Why was he drafted in the top 10? If he was going to be tough.
He's not a quarterback. He's a defensive end. He's a linebacker. That's why.
So a game record, you wouldn't draft in the top 10. You wouldn't draft
Mike. If you need other things, why would you draft him if you need a quarterback? Why would you draft him if you need a running back? Why would you draft him if you need an offensive lineman? That's what happens, Mike. This dude was going to be a superstar on any team.
Then why did he last till 30?
That he's not, I think you're.
If he was going to be a superstar, why did he last till 30? Why did he last till there?
You honestly, if you talk to anybody, this dude was going to be a superstar coming into the pros. His brother was probably the best defensive player in his time. And if you thought that this guy wasn't going to be, you're crazy.
There were a lot of question marks surrounding TJ Watt. People said he was only.
Well, who was asking them? Because it wasn't me.
It was a lot of people, like a lot of scouts and developmental people were saying, can he really be?
It wasn't me. I could tell you that. I told you exactly what happened. I told you he was going to be great.
Yeah. Now you told me now in 2015.
No.
In 2015.
As soon as I found out he was JJ Watt's brother, I knew the career he was going to have. I promise you. And if you didn't, I think you're crazy because it's to say that listen, you seen him play. He played at Wisconsin. He been getting your ass kicked by him for years.
No, we fucking dominated him because when he came in, all you hear is, TJ Watt. TJ Watt's going to dominate Penn State. TJ Watt's going to dominate
Penn State. Dominated teams that ain't any good.
And then Penn State whooped his ass. He looked regular.
Can you imagine when we drafted if they ever beat Ohio State or Michigan? When was the last time they beat any of those? When was the last time they beat any good team in that conference?
I got a question for you. When did Pitt make the college playoffs?
Yeah. Why do you always deflect? Why do you every time I ask you a question, you don't answer? You deflect.
Every time I win an argument against you go, hey, listen.
And whenever you're losing an argument, you do this. You go into this
because you argue like an infant.
And people see that. So go ahead, continue.
No.
Mike, can I talk?
No, you cannot talk.
I made a comment about Penn State. You turned around and said, "Well, wait, when did Pitt?" That's
you
not what I'm
brought up.
talking about, Pitt.
I'm
talking about Penn State.
talking.
Because because TJ Watt played against Penn
Yeah, and
State.
we dominated.
That's the connection. You deflect, you go to Pitt, Mike. Then you go
Because
what is that
you
stupid talk?
argue like an
You're
infant.
talking like a retard.
You argue like an infant.
I'm not arguing, Mike. I asked Mike. I said this. When was the last time Penn State beat a good team? And that's when you jumped on Pitt. How is that me arguing like an infant? That's literally making a point.
All I said was like when I watched Penn State play him, I was not impressed with him. And then you go, "Oh, when did Penn State beat this? When did Penn State beat that?" So I'm following
Penn
your
State
train of
never wins
thought.
big games. Never.
I followed. Oh, we won 2
because I'm
playoff
trying to
games.
explain the Penn
Those
never
aren't
wins
big games.
Oh.
Playoff games are not big games.
Mike, you can't beat a team.
First.
You can't beat any. When was the last time you beat a good team in your conference? When was the last time you beat a good team in your conference? Please tell me.
We beat Oregon. We beat Oregon, a playoff team.
When was the last time? When did you beat Oregon?
We beat them this year.
When did you beat Oregon?
We beat Oregon.
Did you ever beat Ohio State? When was the last time? Listen, I'm talking to Ohio State.
It's been a couple years, but it's
and you know that's what I'm talking about. You know that's what I'm talking about.
No, you said in the Big Ten. You said in the Big Ten.
I understand, Mike, but now that I'm clearing it up, and you should know what I mean, because Oregon is not traditionally a Big Ten team, so
but
I'm talking about the good teams in the conference. I understand that. One more time, I'm going to say I'm talking about Ohio State and Michigan. When was the last time we beat any of those teams?
It's been a couple years.
That's all that matters. No, it doesn't matter because you can win 7 games, 8 games, 10 games, and then you lose those 2 games every year. You just can't. They can't win.
You know who else loses to them? You know they.
Is it Pitt, Mike? Is it Pitt? Are we going to go on Pitt now? Mike, we weren't talking about Pitt. Who cares? Nobody's talking about Pitt.
Penn State.
Nobody's talking about Pitt.
Won the national championship. Guess what? A whole bunch of other teams.
Guess what? They have as many championships as we have this year. That's right. They finished as good as we did, Mike. You have the same championships that we have. So
Penn State lost to 2 teams that won the back-to-back national championships.
Did they win anything?
National championships.
Did Penn State win anything? They won just as much as we did. So
Penn State plays well against the 2 teams who just won. Who won the national championship?
Mike,
man.
Talk to me when they beat either one of the good teams in their conference. They haven't beat anybody. Come on.
When has
they beat them? Mike, they built. Pitt. See, you don't deflect. Listen, we're talking about Penn State.
I'm just asking. I was just asking.
Mike, this
you're talking about my college team. I'm talking about your college team.
All right, and that's fair. And I'll take the.
I'm following your line.
I'll take you on.
I'm following your twisted line of logic.
And I'll take you on, and I'll defeat you in that too. What I'm saying is the mountain team that you beat, Boise State, is come on, the Boise State. Listen,
they made the playoffs.
You beat Boise State. You beat Boise State because they got in the playoffs by default because they're out in that conference, and you're going to get in by default if you're decent. Beat Ohio State, beat Michigan, then we'll talk. Pitt, I'm pretty sure, has more of a lot of things than Penn State has. Speaking the whole way down the list. The last time the Penn State won a national championship was only a few years different from when the Panthers won their last national championship. So they're Penn State's nothing. They're nothing. They talk like they're this big. Look at Penn State.
Nothing.
They can't beat anybody in their conference that's good.
Penn State, who's talked about
that's right. We beat you.
As a premier program, but Pitt
that's afraid to play Pitt. That's afraid to play Pitt.
There it is, the little brother. Yes. They're afraid to play us.
Penn State's the little bitch brother. They're the elitist.
Penn State does not need Pitt. Pitt needs Penn State.
We don't need Penn State for shit. We just want to beat your ass. That's all. We don't want anything from Penn State. We're just saying we'll beat you. Let's play. Let's play football. We're football teams.
Last time they played a 4-game series, Penn State won 3-1.
Well, Mike,
you guys are nothing.
Well, you guys are nothing. Until you beat anybody in your division that's worth anything, you guys are nothing. At least we won the conference 2 years ago. We had a Heisman Trophy candidate 3 years ago. We won. We beat Mike. Look at Penn State.
Go back like 2 years. We had Saquon Barkley and Trace.
How do you want to count? Do you want to count Hall of Famers, Mike? Okay. I'm pretty sure that we kicking your ass in Hall of Famers in the NFL. The list goes on.
That's good. That's
Penn State is a entitled.
But you guys are a second-rate. You're in a second-rate conference, and you're a second-rate school in a second-rate conference.
ACC ain't second-rate, and if we're in first-rate, who cares? Because you can't beat the better teams in your conference anyway. So what's the difference?
You guys can't beat anyone. You guys can hardly beat anyone in your conference.
We beat everybody in our conference. As a matter of fact, we won the conference. When was the last time you did that? When?
I'm sorry, Mike. Hold on.
Too long ago. When was it?
Wasn't that
Could you
long
look
ago.
that up, please? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check this out.
Let's see.
When was the last time this team, this elitist, this entitled,
Yeah.
stupid, homosexual kid grabbing college? When was the
Let's
last time they
see.
were any good?
Let's see.
Child molesting perverts. They
Wow,
had to
you had
fire
to
their
go
football
there.
coach. Like they had to
Wow.
fire their football coach because they
Wow.
were touching kids. Yeah, you talk it
Wow.
down, but it's huge.
That is like everyone knows it, but to bring it into this conversation, man, that's
But
a
that's what I'm
weird thing
saying.
to.
You act like
Ooh,
this team's elite. This team ain't shit. This team is weird. Nobody likes Penn State.
let's
Fucking
see.
weird.
We
It
won
took
it
you this
in
long to find the last time
2016.
they won the
2016.
2016, 10 years
2016.
ago.
Well, I
Nice.
put out like Big Ten championships, and it brought up a bunch of stuff. Brought up like volleyball,
Yeah. All right.
volleyball,
I get it.
hockey,
Go ahead.
baseball, wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, my God,
Mm-hmm.
so many championships from the
Go to
university.
Pitt. Go to Pitts too. I'm pretty sure that we have
Yeah.
just as many and all that crap as you do.
Now I don't like typing Pitt into my computer. I don't want like that
Fucking
nasty ass
queer.
color.
All right, so let's get to
You're
some of
fucking
these other
queer.
messages. There you go. So creative in the arguing you are.
So are you.
Let's see. No, I'm original, and you take everything I do and you say it back to me.
I'm
It's so
original.
fucking bizarre. I've never
You're
seen
so
anything
fucking
like it.
bizarre.
I've never seen anything like it. All right, let me jump in right here. Okay. I lost track of what was going on, or where I'm at least.
I don't know.
Here we go. Oh, there's. Okay, P says, can we move on? This argument is eating up my valuable minutes of GAF. Over enthusiastic mod Caleb. I've been for contraction for years, not due to the MLB talent, but due to Manfred and 28 MLB owners not spending money.
Exactly.
Let's see what Caleb's saying here about the Pirates. Well, Pirates spent 123 million on Major League Baseball payroll in 24. Twins spent 160 million. If the Twins had the same ratio of other expenses to MLB payroll as Pirates, that puts the Twins at total 24 spending at 383 million. P says TJ is good, maybe a great player. He's making way too much money. No two ways about that. Who the fuck wants to go to baseball game in Minnesota in September? Yeah, you ain't kidding. As a matter of fact, I forget that the Twins have a team a lot of times. I really do. P also says Jim McMahon's slander will not be tolerated. Hey, Roger, what's up, brother? Developing quarterback has never been a question until Kenny came. I understand, or I never heard that being an issue until then. Well, we did have Ben for 20 years prior. So, I mean, that made things a little bit different. The NFL should have bigger rosters. They keep adding games. Our history developing players in general hasn't been okay. We did get that one. Okay, why so much diddling in Pennsylvania and Ohio? I don't know. We don't diddle.
We don't diddle.
I don't diddle. I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, we spent 5 minutes talking about the reason I tune in, the Steelers. Sorry about that, Roger. Let's see. And Caleb says Pirates Major League payroll only accounted for 41.7%. So anyway you slice it, I think baseball's so screwed up because you need to have a salary cap. You need to.
Exactly.
You can't have a team playing in New York City with millions of people and try to get the money in a city that stinks like Miami. They can barely pay these players or any of these other teams we're talking about. How is that fair in any way, Mike? How is that fair? Because this team has 10 gazillion people coming into their stadium and they can afford the top guys, to where this team only has, like Miami, they have about 17 fans a game. Yeah. What are you going to afford with that? How is that fair? And shouldn't that change to make baseball better?
It should. If I'm these lower tier owners, I'm banding together, trying to do what I can to force, the handful of rich clubs to implement a salary cap. And it's not making your sport competitive to have to not having a salary cap is making your sport not competitive, and you're losing viewers. You're trying to find ways to keep people entertained, to want to come back and watch your product. So now you're adding a runner and extra innings, introducing the pitch clock. Now we're going to do the robo umps. How about actually, a salary cap? So talent is actually forced or is spread out. Teams have a chance. Now local markets and fans will go out and support their team because now they know they have a chance. Like, these bloated contracts, man, are going to come back and bite MLB in the ass at some point. I hate
it was all the baseball
hate you
talk.
so much right
I
now.
had so much trouble focusing. It was too much baseball. Mike, let's get back to football before I lose my mind. Roger, he hit it right on the head. Mike, Cam Hayward claps back at Skip Bayless. Apparently, Skip Bayless. Let's see. He says he's amused by Cam Hayward's backtrack on Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He realized exactly what I said on my show. That has come to this for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They now desperately need what's left of Aaron Rodgers. It's looking like Mason Rudolph. Mike, and Cam Hayward comes back and says this in response to what was said by Skip Bayless. He says, "I'm amused you can't at me, maybe right at me and get my attention, or at least spell my name right." Apparently, when Skip spelled the name in his ex post, Mike, he spelled it with an A instead of an H-E-Y. It was H-A-Y. So Cam Hayward kind of took offense to that a little bit. And again, he responded, "I'm amused you can't at me or at least spell my name right." So, I think that, Cam definitely flipped. He flopped around a little bit. And I don't understand why he's so upset because he did at first. He was kind of being a dick. And then now he's like, oh, it's going to be nice having him on the team. So, is Cam wrong? Is he right? Is it even matter of Skip Bayless just being Skip Bayless?
Skip Bayless being Skip Bayless and Cam being a whiny little baby because he's actually getting some pushback from a member of the media, which he's never gotten here in Pittsburgh once. He's never had to deal with any backlash like that of anyone calling him out on his hypocrisy. So he doesn't know how to act. He's acting like a little child right now. And Cam, if you show this kind of fight on Twitter, on X, if you would transfer that type of energy to a playoff game, my God,
you might win one.
You might actually be a Steeler legend. You put up more fight in this battle with Skip Bayless. Yes, Mark Malone, he is a douche nozzle. I hate Skip Bayless, but
yeah, I do too.
It can't come on, Cam. Like just roll your eyes and move on from him. Don't engage with the this is the most fight I've seen from you in a long ass time.
I know. Let's see that fight in the playoffs. Let's see that fight in the last 5 games of the year that we lost. Let's see that fight. Yeah. When we need to stop a guy on the goal line, when we need to stop somebody for a first down, when we need anything, Mike, that a good defensive lineman would do, but yet they say he is 1 out of 243. I don't know where that came from, but I do.
That's the best,
he
baby.
did have the rankings up, and they said 1 of 217 or whatever it was, Mike. And I know right off the top of my head, I could think of 2 defensive tackles right off the top of my head that are way better. How the hell he got number 1 out of 217 is, come on, unbelievable, especially at his age. Roger says exactly. We had big. Yeah, good.
I was going to say he dropped down to 2nd behind Chris Jones, but somehow Dexter Lawrence is only 3rd. I'm looking for Jalen Carter. He's all the way down on the list. I think they might have him somewhere else on here, but I don't see Jalen Carter in the top 10. So PFF sometimes kind of makes me question their rankings.
PFF always makes me question everything.
Yeah. But yeah, for him being number 1 and being above Sexy Dexy, I don't see that.
Oh, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is people that don't see him play every week. They sit around and make. They see highlights.
They watch the highlights, and the highlights are good. But the plays when he's stumbling around or where he's not getting any push and he's getting run on, people forget that there was a string of games there where he didn't do anything and no one talked about him. No one talked about how great he was or doing anything. Then all of a sudden he had a good game and it's like, oh my God, he's playing at an all-pro level. Like that game he did, but the previous 3 or 4,
Right.
he was non-existent. Like,
I hate
yeah,
the way the media covers Cam. I just
yeah,
hate it.
yeah, just be
Not
like, yeah,
right.
the games that he played great, he fucking played great. There's no doubt about it. It's there on the tape. I went back, I watched the all 22 on Cam. But in the games when he didn't do anything, it was glaring that he didn't do anything. And that just got swept under the rug, swept under the rug. And just be fair and honest with his evaluation. It's bothersome the way he gets portrayed in the local media and in the national media, because it's the tape doesn't lie. He's an up and down player.
Roger says exactly. We had Big Ben, so why is developing quarterback all of a sudden a thing? The reason we were so upset with the Steelers isn't the lack of development of players, but the coaches, because we've had enough talent to win in the playoffs, and we don't. I mean, we've had a lot of really good teams. No two ways about it. Yeah, I don't dispute that at all. P says, fix your city, fix your city, maybe pay some taxes, but buy your own stadiums. P. What else? Pirates Major League Baseball payroll only kind of okay for 41%. So there you go, guys. That's a lot of it in a nutshell. Again, not much going on as far as the Steelers quarterback talk, Mike. I told you we got Jackson Dart coming in April for a pre-draft visit. Colin Cowherd saying that the Steelers would take Jalen Milroe in the first round, which is crazy.
That's him getting clicks. That's just him getting clicks and views.
And then the other quarterback news, obviously, being Rodgers. Rodgers may be leaning toward retiring now.
Yeah, I like how that story popped up out of nowhere. It's just this time of the year, dude. It's just people trying to act like they're in the know, even on the national level. It's he might be retiring now. Like, where did that come from?
And the other one, Mike, Kenny Gainwell. He's the one that got married during the offseason. He's another smart one.
Yeah.
But who? And guess who else? Yesterday we talked about Boz had the baby in the offseason. TJ had the baby in the offseason. Kenny Gainwell got married in the offseason. Now tell me this. Zach Frazier, he's having a baby, but in July. Look at these guys. They're smart. These guys.
See, that's like, what? That's almost training camp time. That's smart, Coach. I can't make training camp.
You don't want to be out during November and October and December.
Yeah.
He fell right in line with these other smart Steelers. It's doing their job, man, and having babies during the off season. That's the way to do it.
Wait. August starts training camp, right? Beginning August, I think. He might be able to pull up. Hey, guys, I need a little paternity leave here. That's smart play from the second year guy. Yeah,
July starts camp. Smart. August is preseason games.
Yeah, this is the kind of heady play you want from your starting center. I like it.
I like the mindset of the team here. These guys, again, if you're gonna have babies or getting married, do it in the off season.
Yeah,
do the rest of us a favor. We enjoy you because you're great football players. I don't give two shits about you having a kid. I'm gonna be honest. There's 8 billion of us here, and I've seen people have kids before. It does nothing for me. But my connection to you is you're a good football player, and I want you to win on my team.
Yeah, like Mazel tov to you, but are you going to be available?
Right,
like you're not one of my employees,
Mike, right?
Availability. Like if you're one of my employees at work, you're having a kid, cool. I can cover your shift. If you're one of my favorite players on my favorite team, your fucking ass better be there. I don't give a fuck about your personal life. I'm selfish when it comes to that shit.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jalen Milroe on the
Mark
first
Malone
round.
says, Mark Malone says, meanwhile, Mason is gearing up for a 4,000-yard season. Boy, would that be fantastic? I mean, if that could actually happen and did happen, I think that would probably be, that'd be great. But we'll see. We will see. Over-enthusiastic Mod Caleb says, breaking NBA news at noon on Friday, Grizzlies part ways with head coach Taylor Jenkins, has been with the team since 2019. Mark Malone goes on to say that Frazier ain't no dummy. He is no dummy. I like this guy. He's gonna be here for a long time. Get used to him, Mark Malone says he'll probably sleep better at camp. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. Roger says, Mark, you've had the take since Mason came back, and I hope you're right. I hope he is too. Listen, if that's the direction we go, I don't want to see this team fail. I mean, there's obviously with the drafts coming to where they are and us needing quarterbacks. Things need to happen in certain ways. But again, I don't want our team to fail. I mean, I don't want Mason to come here and be terrible. He says, I hope you're right. True professionals. He says, Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumyinjers.com. Check it out. We got the blog over there in the merch store. All of our links over there at the2dumyinjers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinjers.com. That's www.the2dumyinjers.com. Lots of cool stuff over at the website. Go check it out. All right, guys. Mike, we do have now. We had to do this again. When you have a special event, we have this Final Four opening day questions. The trivia questions do generally lean that way, Mike. So today is going to be a Final Four trivia question. So put on your thinking caps, everybody on the board, everybody at home. Here we go with the question of the day, Mike. How many times has all 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four?
That's why you didn't answer my question.
We talked about this briefly. I sidestepped your question. The question is, how many times have all 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four since the field turned to 64 teams in 1985, Mike? So you have a 40-year period of time is what we're looking for. So that was whenever they went to a 64-team bracket. So the question is, how many times have all 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four since 1985 is the question, Mike. Think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. Mark says, I lick toads. What's that say? I lick toads like A-Rod does, but I go into a trance and can see the Steelers' future. Yeah.
You better bring the toads when you come for the draft. Well, I'm saying.
That's right.
Well, at first when Ryan said toes, I'm like, no, I'm out. But toads brought me back in.
You guys, it's gonna be 10 guys, this thing, and a bunch of toads. So this is what you got to look forward to.
Why do you keep waving that in my face?
Because this is gonna make me a lot of money once I sell this to Derpy. Let's see. So on the board, P has 5. Richard, what's up? Good afternoon to you, sir. And Roger's saying 1. Interesting, Mike. The question of the day is, how many times in the last 40 years has all 4 number 1 seeds advanced to the Final Four? We're certainly hoping it happens this year because all 4 on the 4 of us on the show took all 4 number 1 seed teams, and so far so good, Mike. 2 got to win today to continue that. But the question of the day is this, Mike. In the past 40 years, since 1985, whenever they had expanded to the current NCAA tournament bracket, how many times have all number 4 seeds landed in the Final Four? That's the question. A bunch of different answers on the board. 1, 4, 5. Anything? Are you thinking anything?
I'm gonna go with
Pieces. I think it happened more often earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3.
3. Not a bad answer. It seems rare, right? It doesn't seem like that happens a lot.
No, yeah, I think 3 is a nice, safe answer.
All right, so question of the day. Since 1985, 40 years, how many times have all 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four? That's what we're shooting for here today, Mike, on the show and through the weekend. Again, on the board, P says 5. Richard said 4. Roger says 1. P says he thinks it happened more earlier on. Mike says 3. And that's your final answer?
3.
All right. I'm locking you in on 3, Mike. How many times have all 4 number 1 seeds made the Final Four 40 years? In 2008, it was 1 time. In 2008, wow. Kansas, Memphis, UCLA, and North Carolina. So since the league went to its current format in 85, 1 time. 1 time.
Wow.
2008, Kansas, Memphis, UCLA, and North Carolina. That's unbelievable. I would have never guessed that in a million years. If I wouldn't have looked it up, I would have. Mike, if $1 million would have been on the line, I wouldn't have not have got that correct. I wouldn't have guessed 1 time.
Me either.
In 40 years.
Wow. Damn.
But Roger nailed that one right on the head. P says, damn, 85 was 40 years ago. Man, you know what? what was just on the oldies the other? I was I forget what it was. It was a song that I totally listened to in the '90s. But
Dude,
somebody
I
said
was
on Facebook, somebody said on
yeah,
Facebook that it was like on the oldies channel. I thought, no, it ain't. But
dude, like
apparently it is. I don't know.
yeah, for the the denizens of Pittsburgh, DVE, that's like the oldie station. Fucking Pearl Jam was on the oldie station. That used to be on the X, which was the fresh, the young, and that's where all the cool kids hang out. That used to be a staple on there. Now it's on the oldie station, and I wanted to drive my car off a cliff.
Wait till it's on 3WS. That's
They,
like
they call it yeah.
that's like
Like
the real oldies.
I found out through my friends' kids, and they're a little bit older, that Metallica is Grandpa Rock. Metallica and Guns N' Roses, that's Grandpa Rock. Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, that's Dad Rock now.
See,
Like,
kids are stupid.
how fucking old do you people think I am? Some bullshit. Oh, you're
Kids are
listening to Grandpa Rock.
yeah.
Like, I'm about to fucking throw you off
Well,
a
you listen to
trampoline or
fucking
some shit.
retard music, so leave me alone, kid. Get the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Fuck out of here. The Violent Femmes, yes. Not yes. The Violent Femmes, like teams like or songs like groups like that. People were saying that's old. That's not old.
No.
Blister in the
No.
Sun. But guys, tomorrow, do check out or tonight. Where my head, Mike? Tonight.
I have no idea.
It's not live, but 9:30 tonight. You can tune in right here for the Two Cranky Jagoffs. This is a clip show. Finch is away out of town, so he did put together a clip show about a half hour long. So tune in tonight at 9:30 to check out the Two Cranky Jagoff clip show. It's a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, conversations they had when they wasn't on the air. So a lot of new stuff that we haven't heard yet. 9:30 tonight. Check that out. The Two Cranky Jagoffs clip show. Finch and Company will be back next week for their whole show. But this week we do have to deal with the short one. That's fine. I will be checking it out. Stop it. It's crazy. I love my grandpa, Richard says. Caleb says just once. I think it was somewhere between 2007 and 2009. You got that one right on the head exactly, between 2007 and 2009, as the answer was 2008. And a lot of things going on like this weekend. Again, the Penguins back in action Sunday. They'll be hosting the Ottawa Senators. That game is at 5 o'clock Sunday. The Pirates all through the weekend will be playing the Marlins today. They face them at 7:10 with Mitch Keller on the hill. Tomorrow 4:10 and Sunday a 1:40 start. Also, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, our home soccer team here in Pittsburgh, at home against Birmingham down at Highmark Stadium. I'm sorry. The UFL, Mike, the UFL kicks off tonight. Spring football, guys. 8 o'clock. You better believe I'm going to have live football on my TV tonight. The St. Louis Battlehawks take on the Houston Roughnecks, guys. 8 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow, San Antonio takes on Arlington. Sunday, 2 games, Michigan and Memphis, and then also Birmingham at D.C. The PIAA State High School Championships in basketball, they're wrapping up this weekend, Mike. We have 4 teams from District 7 right here in the Pittsburgh area. Swickley Academy, South Allegheny, and then the girls in Upper St. Clair and South Fayette. They are all attempting and trying to bring home the gold back to Western PA this weekend. So hopefully they could all pull that off, bring it home. Good luck to all those teams. And finally, Mike, the big tournament also continues today as 4 teams moved on to the Elite 8 last night, and 4 more teams look to do that today as Ole Miss plays Michigan State. Kentucky takes on Tennessee, Michigan and Auburn, and then also Purdue and Houston. And then we continue into the Elite 8 through the weekend, Mike. By the time we get back here on the show on Monday morning, we're going to be talking Final Four coming up as well. And then also, again, the women, too. They stole the show last year with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So let's see if the gals could hold up their end as well in the women's tournament coming up shortly. Final Four shortly after the guys. Let's see what else we got, Mike. The Steelers, we're still in a standstill. Aaron Rodgers not really knowing much what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Latest rumors saying that he's possibly leaning toward retirement. We don't know. A little bit of talk going around about possible quarterback speculation. What we're going to do with quarterbacks out of college. We got Colin Coward says we're going after Jalen Milroe in the first round, which is crazy. The Ohio State Howard, this guy's being talked about a lot. Show people like him. Mike. And then also the big news, in my opinion, is the pre-draft meeting with Jackson Dart in April coming up here before the draft. So that's my guy. I hope we land Jackson Dart in the draft, but we will see. P. Morton says the Blue album from Weezer on the oldies. Dude, it's crazy what's on the oldies anymore. It truly, honestly is. And as I said, I can't recall what that lady said on social media the other day, but it was somebody that I totally jammed out to as a teenager, and they said it was oldies. I thought,
well, you're old, man. Just face it, Ryan. You're old. You're older than me. That's why you're cranky.
One thing I do want to ask you, Mike.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? Does the name Balin Dupree mean anything to you?
Balin Dupree.
Mm-hmm. Balin Dupree.
No, the only Pasquale Dupuis and Bud Dupree are the only Duprees I know.
So if you get a chance this weekend and you haven't seen, listen, it's gotten so much, it's got so popular, it's got its own TLC show, but it's that lady that got Tourette's real bad. Have you ever seen her like on a reel or anything, Mike, or a short? She's like a 19-year-old girl, and a lot of people at first think that she's doing it on purpose for attention. But if you watch like 3 or 4 videos and interviews, this chick's got like Tourette's like real bad. And she went on Dr. Phil and kept telling him like he was bald, but it was just so random and weird and Tourette-y. And then she went like on his news interview, and the guy says, for the to really show you what's going on, we're not going to delete anything. We're going to let this play through live. And she's fuck you, Chris. And like and like I said at first, you say to yourself, is she acting? Yeah. I don't think she is. So if you get a chance, anybody, check her out. Again, her name is Balin Dupree. She has Tourette's. Again, it's gotten so big with her. She's originally a TikTok person.
Yeah.
It got so big they gave her own show on TLC. But very interesting. To the extent that she has Tourette's, Mike, to me it almost looks like, I know Jermaine Dupree as well. But the way it looks to me, it looks like Mike, remember the movie Exorcist?
Yeah.
That little girl Reagan and when she was possessed, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like she's possessed, like when she starts twitching and like her muscles all like they go through the whole story. It's a whole thing, and it's and the guy said it's actually even more difficult for her to act like she has it with all those attributes than to actually have it. So it would be more difficult for her to not have it and pretend that she does, to be that accurate. Really interesting. Again, whether you like it, whether you don't, whether you get into it. Again, Balin Dupree. Is that what it was? Pieces or Tourette's on the demon and Dr. Phil.
Well, like
just again, she just looks like she looks like she's possessed. She looks like she should be on that bed in Exorcist, being yelled at by priests, and it looks like to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just pulled it up real quick. I was just reading about her while you're talking about her. The first thing that popped in my mind was Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo, when he took out the one chick who had Tourette's, took her out to the baseball game, and everyone starts cheering. Yeah, they start clapping along with her. That's what popped into my head. It was like, we're gonna take her to a baseball game. I that would suck to have that, because you have no control over that. You can't stop it. Like
just yelling random things is one thing, but the way their bodies tighten and everything
like twitches and stuff,
it has to hurt. You have to be in pain at the end of the day if you have it to the level that she has it.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable. Again,
unbearable. Damn.
If you want to find something interesting throughout the weekend, guys, if there isn't enough sports for you, do check out Balin Dupree. Go right here on YouTube. Just type her name in after the show's over and watch a couple of the videos. There's a couple that's just a couple minutes long.
Yeah,
I find it pretty fascinating. You know what? I wish I had it. I'd just be yelling all day on the show. I would just be talking.
You do that already. God damn it! You stole my bit. I was gonna do a Penn State thing at the end to put a nice little bow.
Oh, but Mike, I think that's about it for me. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out, checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We really do. We really, really do. We wouldn't do without you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. and everybody at home, at work, in the car, in the gym, wherever you may be on this fine Friday afternoon. We want to say thank you as well. Mike, do you have anything before we do roll for the weekend, brother?
Yeah, it's nothing important, nothing really outstanding, but like that whole time when we were just going off at each other, I had to pull up a different screen to look at it because if I would have looked at you, I'd start busting out laughing. And I just wanted, for my own sake of enjoyment, like, how far can we take this argument before we start yelling at
Yeah.
each other? Just a
Mark
peek
Malone says,
behind the curtain.
"Oh, I've seen her. LOL. I fucked your father. I fucked her." I can't remember what she said, Mike. She said something so funny last night when I was
I
watching.
fucked your
It
father.
was
I
like,
fucked your father.
buy your own bagels, fat ass. And it was just so random and out of. It wasn't to anybody. She wasn't talking to anybody. That's just how insane that is.
That would suck to have, but oh my god,
Yeah,
the things that that she says, you're like, what the fuck would I say if
right.
I had that? Because
And
you
then like
have
she
to
goes
get
like,
it out. You can't hold it in. You just
yes,
have to get it out. It's a
it
yeah,
hurts. It hurts if they hold it in. It's
yeah,
insane.
dude. Like
So again, guys, Balin
oh man,
Dupree. Balin Dupree. Check her out. If anything,
my
it's
god, poor
entertaining.
kid.
Poor
Whew,
kid. But what are you gonna do?
god
Ultimate Yinzer Fight Club. That's right.
damn.
Mike, anything before we do wrap it up, brother? I don't even remember if I asked you. Mike's
I got my
using
own. I forgot I had this.
touching the camera with this vibrator now. What's
We're-
going on?
I told you that in confidence that I bought that. Now you just had to spot. No, I got nothing. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and especially dealing with Ryan and I shenanigans today.
Yeah, check out tonight also again. Two
Yeah, check
Cranky
out them
Jagoffs
out.
tonight at 9:30. Tonight, that is the clip show for the Two Cranky Jagoffs guys. And also a plethora of Pittsburgh sports throughout the weekend. Of course, we will be back first thing on Monday to talk about all that and much, much more. We hope to join you. Hope you join us then. And again, we hope you have a great, safe weekend. Thank you, Richard. Thanks, man. We did do some work on it, and as I said yesterday on the show, I'm just not going to touch anything anymore. I can't touch anything. If I touch something, it goes to shit. So we're gonna
because you've been touching yourself, and that's what's
well,
affecting the.
yesterday and today we had good results. So
Yes.
I think I figured it out, and I figured as long as I don't move a muscle, we should be fine. But I would thank you, Richard. Thank you for noticing. And work's coming out all day. Oh, that pee. Well, I hope you're doing well.
I'm not racist. I
over
got
in
Tourette's.
Yeah, right. I hope you're doing well over on your side of the planet, sir. It's always great hearing from you, my man. We hope to hear you. See you again on Monday. Again, everybody else as well. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out.
Yes.
Please have a safe weekend. Again, lots and lots of sports. Hope you enjoy them all, and we'll all get back together Monday to and talk about it. So, guys, thank you so much for Mike and the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two Dumb Yinzers. Have a great weekend, everybody.